The reason I painted this painting was it wasn't that anything drew my eye. It's just, it's a scarecrow. It's fun. And so I'm wearing a little scarecrowish costume. I don't have the same check colors as he does. This is my 90s camouflage, as I call it. So I set up around 10:30 to paint it. It's on not a very busy road, but the challenge was I wanted to paint from far away because I didn't want to be right in that person's front yard, but I just was like, I got to move. And the lady came out, looked at it. The neighbor came over. So all was good there. And going through the different phases of the painting, the drawing phase, I just focused on his head, face, and then the pumpkin as if he's, and presenting the pumpkins. So just a few things. I didn't, when I had done the drawings and sketches the night before, I'd put a pumpkin in his hand like Hamlet. I thought about putting a crow on his shoulder. And then I just decided you don't always have to have a focal point. Sometimes the object is the point, and it's not always about big shaped, big objects. Sometimes you just have to paint just for fun. So this wasn't because I was in a rut and I was something. It was just I wanted to paint something easy, and I wanted to paint the scarecrow is what it really was about. And so in that drawing phase, I did a little emphasis there, and in the head, the hat, I just wanted those things to hold up. But in the cart, I wanted it to not be a part of it. It's more in the foreground than the scarecrow is. So if I kept that thickness of line drawing in the cart, I would have had to compensate for that elsewhere. So the cart just is there. The background is just there. Behind him is that, here we go. Is it a tree or is it just the way the sky is? And it's actually a big blue spruce, but I painted it like the lights coming down. So down here I have the before gouache. I did go in with gouache afterwards. I thought, should I darken things to make the lights look and appear lighter, or should I go in with gouache? And I decided to go in with gouache. If you haven't played with gouache yet, it does dry a little bit darker. So it's the opposite of watercolor. It dries a little bit darker. And so you really want to put a little extra white in, but be careful with your whites. They can really just kill colors. So I use unbleached titanium white, and then titanium white and zinc white. Those are basically the whites. But I do a lot of testing. I want to make sure. I did some experimenting, or I went over with gouache on another painting, and the color was so cool that it just really looked off. So you really want to play with that a little bit before you experiment, and also do it minimally or prepare to go quite a bit. So I did the highlight on the pumpkin, the highlight on the hay bale, and then a little bit right here and then here. So it's just mainly that area. This shrub I did as well, and I did very deliberate brush strokes like this, but it was distracting. So I went back in. The nice thing about gouache is it reactivates really easily. So you go in with a little bit of water. It was a little too green, so I put in an orangish yellow, washed over it, let it bleed, and it made this really nice and subtle shift. So beware of rules. Since this was just for fun, I didn't care, but if you're doing something and it is for a competition, I only did about 60% of this on site. With some people, with some organizations, that's okay for a plein air submission. For some, it's not. So the previous contests that I've entered, the picnic table and this over the ridge, required 100%. But I didn't paint this with that intention. It'll probably be a gift. And that's another thing that I'm encouraging is you don't have to do everything for a gallery. Is there somebody who loves autumn, loves scarecrows? It's the end of the season, and I'm releasing this video so I have a few days before Halloween, get a little traction on the internet with that, but perfect gift for down the road. Let's see, what I would do differently. On this, I don't feel like it's because of the purpose that I set out for. I'm not really like what I would do differently. I do feel like The lighting in the picnic table is more atmospheric. There's a lot of mystery back there. I look at this Scarecrow and I think it's a little studio, but I'm studio lighting, like a portrait studio or a Hollywood studio. It's just like this, the light's hitting his face, it's hitting the pumpkin. It's too contrived, but it's also fun. So it depends on what world you're in. So there's nothing I would really want to change about it. So hopefully by the time this comes out, hopefully you see something similar and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to go set up and I'm going to paint that cow, or I'm going to go paint this. It was Christmas coming and the holidays, you might drive by someplace that has other autumnal scenes, or Thanksgiving or Christmas, Hanukkah, things that you want to paint. If somebody in your neighborhood has a great Santa sleigh with some reindeer, maybe you want to go paint that. Doing some things just for fun, we have to remember that that is what it's all about. And even though I did it just for fun, I have to do a video. So if this video resonates with you, please share and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Help me know that I'm on the right path. I love plein air painting, and I've made some changes to the videos and some software. So getting back into that again. And well, all that being said, all I think I need to say in closing is lovely to see you again, my friend. Thank you.